There are steps involved in solving a series circuit. The first step is to read the entire question. In the series circuit below, calculate the current flowing through the circuit. What is the voltage drop across R1? What is the resistance of R3? And calculate the voltage at the supply. The second step is to identify what the question is asking. The question is asking us to solve the unknown variables for a series circuit. We also know it is a series circuit by looking at the diagram. Remember, a series circuit is a circuit where there is only one path for the current to flow. The third step is to utilize some techniques to aid us in solving the unknown variables. They are Ohm's law triangle, characteristics of a DC series circuit, and the series circuit chart technique. The fourth step is to identify all the given values and to write them into the chart under the proper headings. Let's start with voltage. We do not know the value of V1, but we know V2 equals 50 volts. So we can write that in. And we know V3 is 250 volts. We are not given the value of current at all. For resistance, we know that R1 equals 40 ohms and 10 ohms for R2. Again, we don't know what R3 is. The fifth step is to use the characteristics of a series circuit and Ohm's law triangle to solve the question. To solve a question for Ohm's law, we need to know two out of the three variables. So at R2, we know the voltage and we know the resistance, so we can find the current using Ohm's law. Current equals voltage divided by resistance. So we have I2 equals 50 volts divided by 10 ohms. I2 equals 5 amps. So we can write that in, 5 amps. Now, going to the characteristics of a DC series circuit, we know that IT equals I1 equals I2 equals I3. So we can add that in for the rest of the chart. Next, we can use Ohm's law to find the voltage of R1 or the resistance of R3. So let's find the voltage of R1. So voltage equals current times resistance. Now we know current times resistance here. So R1 equals 5 amps times 40 ohms. R1 equals 200 volts. So we can write that in, 200 volts. Next, we can add up all the voltages. And we know that V1 plus V2 plus V3 equals total voltage from the characteristics of a series circuit. Last, we need to find R3, and we can do that using Ohm's law. R3 equals voltage divided by current. So we know it's 250 volts divided by 5 amps. So we know that R3 is 50 ohms. Next, we can add up the three resistances, which equals 100 ohms, or we could do it another way, which is simply divide 500 volts divided by 5 amps, which will equal 100 ohms. So we know that works. Which brings us to the sixth step, and that's to double check the circuit to make sure all the values are correct.